Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X. Episode 91. The Feudal States of the Zhou Dynasty 3. Qi, Song, Yan. 1. Qi State. The place that Gang Taigong, a meritorious subject in the founding of the imperial state Zhou Dynasty, received as a fief was the Qi State. The Gang surname began with Yemjie Shinnong, who was the Biwang of politics in the era of Zhejiang Il-Qi. I quote Sagi Seiga, hereditary houses of Shiqi. Taigong Wang Yo Song is a person from Donghe. His ancestors served as officials called Sa-ak during the time of Yo, Yao, and Shun, and assisted King Yu of the Ha dynasty in civil engineering works for flood control, establishing great merits. The Donghe and Sohe of Gang Taigong's hometown do not refer to the seas in the east or west. Based on the Pamirs and Chanson, the spiritual mountains where the Buddha and the Great Papal Court leaned, the place where the Great Papal Court was located, the western region of the Bright Land of the Sun, was called Sohe. The Dongjing Ho region beyond the Pamirs and Chanson, the eastern region of the Bright Land, was called Donghe. We can see that Gang Taigong's hometown was the Dongjing Ho region. I quote the scene where Gang Taigong receives his fief from Zhou Muwang from Daoem Encyclopedia. Zhou Muwang, believing he had pacified the Sang dynasty and become the emperor of the world, fiefed his chief of staff, Gang Taigong, in Yangku of the Qi land. However, Raihu, Marquess of Rai, led his tribe and attacked Yangku. Yangku bordered the Rai state. The Rai people were an alien nation founded by the Dong-yi, Eastern Barbarians. Although the Zhou dynasty had pacified the world which was disordered by the tyranny of King Zhou, the order had not reached the far frontiers, so the Rai state invaded Yangku. The Qi state placed its capital at Yangku. Gang Taigong was a descendant of Yemjie Shinnong, the Biwang of the Buddha in the era of Zhejiang Il-Qi, and was also the chief of staff who played a decisive role in Zhou Muwang's destruction of the Un dynasty. Let us reveal the place names of Yangku, which Gang Taigong received as a fief, and Raihu, who bordered it. Yangku. First, the Qi state became the Qi surname because it received the Qi land as a fief. It is said that the place where the Qi state of Chinese history existed corresponds to Jeju in Korean history. The Red Cliff region of Byakpa, which the turtle of Dongjing Ho struck with its right arm, was precisely the fief of the Qi state in Chinese history, and Jeju in Korean history. Byakpa is a spur of Halasan, which is why the name Halasan appears in present-day Jeju, Korea. Raihu. Let us reveal the identity of Raihu, who shared a border with the Qi state. Raihu is a feudal lord who held the Rai region as a fief. The eastern part of this Rai region is Dongrai. I quote Korean geography. The place name of Dongrai is called Bongrai. I said that the place name Bongrai refers to Gumgangsan of the Pamirs and Chanson, where the Buddha and the Great Papal Court leaned. Raihu, who fought against the feudal state Qi, was precisely the O state located in the Gumgangsan region. Then why did manipulated history gloss it over with the term Raihu instead of directly mentioning the O state? Since manipulated history inserted the Qi state into the Shandong region of current China and the O state into the southern part of current China, geographically in the manipulated map of China, the Qi and O states could not clash. Therefore, they glossed over the name of the feudal state with the term Raihu instead of O state. The place where the historical Qi state existed was the Dongjingho region of Halasan, which was also where the Mongolian horse ranch was located. 2. Song state. The force that seized the emperor's fortress and became the Chenja, based on the feudal state Song of the Zhou dynasty, was the imperial state Song dynasty. They correspond to Goryeo in Korean history. Soak of the Goryeo dynasty in Korean history is precisely where the feudal state Song of Chinese history existed. Let us enter into their story. The Song state was not a blood relation state of the Zhou dynasty, but a blood relation state of the Sang and Un dynasties. The Song surname born here has a considerable population distribution in Korea. Mijage Song state. Quoting the encyclopedia, Mijage was the eldest son of King Jae-il of the Un dynasty and the Se-hyung, illegitimate elder brother, of Emperor Zhou, the last emperor of the Un dynasty. After destroying the Un dynasty, Zhou Muwang fiefed Mijage, the elder brother of the last King Zhou of the Un dynasty, in the old land of the Un dynasty, to continue the sacrifices to the ancestors of the Un dynasty. Since Song was the name of a fallen nation, they could not use it and used the name Song. The secret of Mijage's Song state is lacking in the Song dynasty that unified the world after organizing the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms. The imperial state Song dynasty of Chinese history became the name of the imperial state because it seized the world based on the fief of Mijage's Song state, the old feudal state of the Zhou dynasty. Looking closely at the above content, in the genealogy of the Song state, Songgong, son of Mijong, was a feudal lord who held the Song land as a fief. Let us reveal the secret of the Song land. Quoting Korean geography, the place names for Gaesong, the capital of Goryeo, are Soak-gun, Gaeju, Gaekang, and Hwangdo. The place name Soak-gun of Gaesong in Korean geography refers to the mountain in the Songland of Mijage's Song state. It was the same region where Songgong Gae of the feudal state Song in Chinese history resided. The place names Gaeju and Gaekang refer to the place where the Buddha opened the sky around 3800 BCE, and Hwangdo refers to the place where the Samhuang, the 3 sovereigns of the Biwang of politics in the era of Zhejiang Il-chi, resided. The place where the feudal state Song of Chinese history existed was the same location as the capital of the Goryeo dynasty in Korean history. The imperial state Song dynasty of Chinese history was indeed the Goryeo dynasty of Korean history. Location and fall of the feudal state Song. The feudal state Song was located across the region where the Buddha and the great papal court were located. Let us examine the fall of the feudal state Song. The progenitor of the Song surname is Mi-ja-gye, the eldest son of King Je-e, the 30th king of the Song dynasty. He lost the throne to his younger brother Sin. His half-brother Sin is Zhu Wang, the last king of the Song dynasty. When Zhou Muwang raised a rebellion and destroyed the Song dynasty, Mi-ja-gye pleaded to spare the people of Song. Accordingly, Zhou Muwang gave him a fief, Sigup, to manage the refugees. The country where Mi-ja-gye was fiefed as a feudal lord was the Song state. It lasted for about 700 years until it was destroyed by the allied forces of Je, Wei, and Chou around 286 BC. Reference Wikipedia. The feudal state Song of Chinese history was the Goryeo dynasty of Korean history, located in Seoul where the great papal court was situated. 3. Yeon state. The emperor who existed in the feudal state Yeon in Chinese history is also Yeon San-gun of the Joseon dynasty in Korean history. Since Hanja characters are proper nouns, the fact that Chinese history and Korean history overlap with the same Hanja implies that a single identical history has been divided into 2. Sagi Sega. Sogong, Duke of Sha, Sek, the half-brother of Zhou Muwang, is the progenitor of the Yeon state. The feudal state Yeon was a blood relation state of the Zhou dynasty. Quoting Wikipedia. Sogong Sek has the same surname Hui as the Zhou dynasty. Zhu Muwang destroyed Ju Wang and fiefed Sogong in Book Yeon. During the reign of Zhu Songwang, Sogong became one of the Sam Gong, the three dukes. Sogong governed the region west of Sam, and Zhugong, Duke of Zhou, governed the region east of Sam. When Sogong governed the west of Sam, he gained much favor from the people. When Sogong toured the villages, he judged lawsuits and handled affairs under a wild pear tree. He assigned appropriate tasks to everyone from aristocrats to commoners, so no one lost their position or job. When Sogong died, the people, remembering his politics and missing the wild pear tree, did not cut it down and composed a poem called Gamdong to sing of him. In the genealogy of Zhu Muwang's brothers in Samachan's Sagi, Sogong Sek does not exist, but since he is called a brother, it is assumed he was a Sayal, illegitimate child, from a different mother. The Yeon surname was born in this Yeon state. I said that the name of the feudal state's land and the surname born in that land are identical. Therefore, one can grasp the location of that land. Now let me show you an example. It is said that the Yan surname originated, Giechul, from Bamyang in Changhua, China. It is a basic principle of family genealogy that the Yan surname originated from the Yan state. Where is Bamyang? Let us quote Wang O Chanchuk Kukjan. Let us examine Bamyang Guk. I copy the pronunciation from a Chinese dictionary. Ban Yang, Bo Yang, Fan Yang. It is written as Bamyang, but its pronunciation is said to be Pan Huan Yang or Hamyang Hanyang. Doesn't it feel strange? Bamyang, where the Yan surname was born, was indeed the name calling Hanyang and Hamyang, where the emperor's fortress was located. The place where the emperor's fortress was located was precisely Zhang'an, Bamyang, Hamyang, and Hanyang. Where did all these names originate from? They originated from the Bright Land. The Bright Land is something achieved by Virochin Buddha who opened the sky. The one who achieved this Bright Land is the Buddha. Buddha means bright, and the place where this Buddha resides is the Bright Land. In the quiet world that preserves the Bright Land well, people established dynasties in the emperor's fortress located in the deep mountains. As a justification, they proudly attached the name of the people of the Bright Land who protect the world and order of the Bright Land and applied the name Bright Land to their capitals, mountains, and rivers. The Yan state in Korean geography. Let us find where the feudal state Yeon existed in Korean geography. In Korean geography, the place name of Muni is called Yeonsan. The mountain that existed in the Yeon state is Yeonsan, and the name of the tyrant king of Joseon, the last dynasty of Korean history, was also Yeonsan Gun. Since the feudal state of Chinese history and the emperor of Korean history were located at the same place, they used the same place name. Why do all the place names of feudal states in Chinese history appear in Korean history? It is because the 24 histories of China are all the history of Korea. In the next episode, I will reveal the Han, Wei, Zhou, Wul, and Jin states. The Zhou state, which will appear in the next episode, was the main force among the Xiongnu who moved to Europe. Please refer to the attached blog for details regarding the YouTube video release schedule and titles, as well as the title and table of contents of the prepared book. https://blog.naver.com/go Kim Garcia.